Hi, I'm Kelly Geller. Today we're going to be making a sour cream coffee cake. So we're going to start with a spray, some nonstick cooking spray. And this kind of gives us some glue that the parchment will stick to. So we have 2 sheets that are cut to the size of the pan with a little extra for overhang. So we're going to press this down and literally glue it in there. Okay, and we're going to give this one more spray on the bottom so the next layer of parchment sticks. We're going to press that in, fold that over, give it a little crease so it stays out of the way. Now the next thing we're going to do is spray it again, and we're going to flour the parchment, and that's going to allow the parchment to be easily removed from the cake. So this is a traditional creaming method batter, and that means we're going to start out with butter and sugar in the bowl of our standing mixer, and we're fitted with the paddle attachment here. The butter is softened but not warm. And all that means is we're going to combine them and mix them together for about 3 minutes. Okay, our creaming step is complete. So we have a nice, smooth, uniform mixture of butter and sugar in the bowl, nice and light and fluffy. The next step is going to be to add our eggs. Now today we're going to be using 2 whole eggs and 2 egg yolks. So we're going to add these one at a time and letting them incorporate before you add the next. Now we're going to add our flavoring to the mix. So we're going to be using vanilla extract and orange zest. We have the zest of about 2 oranges here. And then we're going to turn the speed up a little to make sure that those flavors are totally incorporated into the butter, sugar, and eggs. Okay, we're going to take a minute to scrape down our bowl here to make sure the batter stays completely uniform. If you end up with any strange chunks of butter or holes that have whole pieces of butter, chunks of flavoring, you're not going to get a favorable result. We want it all incorporated. Okay. So the next step in the creaming process is to alternately add our dry ingredients and our sour cream, which is a key ingredient in this cake. What keeps it completely moist, and it also lends us wonderful acidity to the flavor. So for our dry ingredients, we have all-purpose flour, cake flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. And what we're going to do is whisk our dry ingredients together, and we're going to add them to our batter in 3 additions, alternating with our sour cream. We'll start and finish with the dry ingredients and add sour cream in between. This will allow us to build the body of the cake without making it too tough or over-mixing it. Now that our batter is complete, we're going to work on our crumb topping. This crumb topping is going to go on top and in the center. And what we're going to use is a mixture of all-purpose flour, brown sugar, some spice, cinnamon, and nutmeg, some kosher salt, and actually a little bit of leavening too. Because we're using this in the center of the cake, we wanted a little bit of leavening so it doesn't get too heavy and the cake still rises. So all our dry ingredients are going to go into our food processor. Okay. And we want to get all our dry ingredients combined before we add the butter. So we're going to put the top on and just pulse to combine. And now we're going to cut the butter. It's cold butter that I've cubed. We want to pulse it until it resembles coarse sand. Okay. So we've got a mixture. It resembles coarse wet sand or clumpy wet sand. Okay, and what we're going to do now is we're going to layer this mixture with our batter in our pan. So we have our prepared pan that we set aside, and we want to start by putting half the batter in the pan. So what I like to do is rather than try to figure that out from top to bottom, I like to make it just a cut down the center of the bowl and scoop out 1/2. To make this easier to spread, I like to take kind of big clumps and place them at different places in the pan. That way when it comes time to spread them out, some of your work is already done for you. And we're going to spread this into the pan in a nice even layer. Now what we're going to do is add half of our crumble topping, which is also a filling, into the pan. I love that this mixture doubles as our topping and as our filling. And we've got that little bit of leavening in there, so as this mixture softens in the center of the cake, it's going to stay real moist and become a nice cinnamon swirl. Next step, we're going to do the rest of our batter right over the top. So again, using that technique where we add a little bit of batter all over the pan. Makes it easier to spread. And then we're going to do our second spreading here. Okay. And now for our topping. So we're going to use what's left in the bowl here. Should be about half your mixture. We're just going to crumble it up using our fingers. Great. Okay. We're ready for the oven. We're going to bake this at 350 degrees for about 50 to 60 minutes or until a skewer inserted in the center comes out clean. So our cake is out of the oven. We've let it cool for 30 minutes and now we're going to slice into it. We're going to grab the sling that we created, and the parchment paper sling lets you lift it right up out of the pan with ease, which is great. Makes it a little easier to cut. Okay, we're just going to slide our knife under, pull the slice out, and look at that beautiful cinnamon swirl sitting right in the center, so that little bit of leavening that we added in the recipe keeps it from sinking all the way to the bottom. So we're just going to plate this up. And if you want, you can add just a little bit of powdered sugar to the top. How gorgeous is that? All right. And there you have it. Sour cream coffee cake with a nice cold glass of milk.